All right, I think I'm live, so I'm just going to go with it. This is your professor, Dr. Sean Clavel, uh, and we are here. New semester, week one. Welcome to Anatomy and Physiology 1, BIO201. Again, I already mentioned I'm your professor, Dr. Sean Clavel. We are going to go over some of the announcements, review, get you guys ready. I'll be doing this every week on Wednesdays. I record them during the day. I'll post them right here on your canvas. And again, today, not a whole lot of announcements. I'll keep it kind of brief here, just kind of going over some of the topics that we have at hand, making sure that you guys have a smooth class throughout the semester here. And I'll answer any questions, comments, and concerns if you have. So if you email me, I'm more than welcome to answer those here on this format if it works well for a lot of people, and also a chance to review, right? Like sometimes I might be recording some cuts for my uh, canvas for the actual class, so you might actually get me to what do I want to say, to catch me recording some things, but also to answer some topics that somebody might have some difficulty. So this is a really good format where I can do that for everybody, and it's right here live Wednesdays. And I'm working on the time, so either the morning or the afternoon. We'll see. But here we are, week one. Let me start by doing this. Let me throw up your canvas here on and this is not only for my online class. I do present this here for my in-person class as well, as a resource for them to review, go through the announcements, keep up with the class as we go. And so yeah, there you have it right here on your front page. There's my week one announcements and review, so you'll see that right there, posted up each day, and then updated each week. Hopefully you guys have been getting familiar with your canvas. So the canvas is pretty common, one that you're going to see throughout the semester, or is throughout many different classes. I recommend going through modules. Your class is going to really live in the modules. So if you click on modules there, hopefully you guys have already started to begin your welcome section. So there's 3 pages to read. You got the course overview, what it might take to be successful in this course, a little bit about me, your instructor here, and then some attendance slash introductory material where we're talking about getting to know you. It's an introductory survey that gives me an idea of some of your techniques for studying, what time of day, what do you prefer in terms of like your learning mode. The syllabus quiz is an agreement really between all of us as a class and how we're going to conduct this class. And then an introduction to yourself to the group, right? So that's your discussion questions, and these ones will all be due by the end of the first week here. These are kind of your attendance, right? The preparation for class, and then we will be using the Science Interactive Lab Kits. So the Science Interactive Lab Kits has a click right on back there to your home page. There you have it. Click on there, and you have a link to the Science Interactive loan page. Right, you'll get this link that says this is your class, do you want to enroll? And you'll click yes, I want to enroll. You fill out the sheet here, and you'll complete it. Back to the home page here. Oh, that's where we were. Let's go to the modules, kind of as I was talking about here. And then there are some getting started. So your lab kit includes both some online activities. So the first couple of activities will actually be online, and you won't actually need anything physical. So while the actual lab kit is being delivered, you'll be doing a couple of labs in the first weeks where we use like the virtual microscope, or the virtual labs, or labs that'll be completed by the use of the computer. The first couple are 1, 2, 3, and 4 here are just kind of getting started. They're introductory things, getting you used to with a lab safety agreement, the use of the microscope, right, the virtual microscope, as I just mentioned, as well as the lab kit inventory. And again, you won't have to complete this until you get your lab kit, but I don't think you can move too much further unless number 4, the lab kit inventory, is completed. But stay tuned for that. And then here it is, like each section or each section, so or test is going to have its own uh, module. So you can see here that I'm gonna have I started in the second week with a test over the first chapter, because I think the first chapter is really important, considering we're talking about anatomical terminology, anatomical language. So I really want to key up on that very early in the semester and really drive it home and reinforce those topics there. So chapter 1, Intro to Anatomy and Physiology, a big portion of that test is going to be knowing your anatomical terms. What are the terms for the body parts? What are the anatomical directions? And being familiar with that. So that's what I'm going to tell you in terms of that. More than half of the questions, a majority of the questions, are going to be identifying a body part and naming it, or identifying a direction and naming it. Sectional planes, abdominal regions as well will be included, and so that's kind of what you'll see here. I posted the exam; it's there. It'll be open on Thursday or Friday, and it'll be open until Monday because of the holiday here. You'll see that in each module, I'll also have some lecture materials. So what I've provided is the chapter 1 introduction. This is a crash course, right? It's a crash course video. I really like crash course, so I introduced many of the chapters here with some crash course material. I'd say look at that first, right? Like get a snack, sit down, get ready to settle in, and just get an idea of what the topics are going to be at hand here when we talk about anatomy and physiology. So number 1, there it is right there. That's the first thing you want to watch. It's usually about 8 to 10 minutes, and you can take and you can watch it. The next thing I have here is, and I'll zoom in for you, is 2 things. The actual chapter itself, right? So this is number 2, what I would say. The chapter. This is probably 2. Actually, let me do it this way, right? This would be 2 right here. And this would be 3, right? Take a look at and read the chapter, then take a look at the outline and fill out the outline with the material that you've learned from the chapter. Right, and then here it is, number 4, to finish it all off, to kind of yours truly is my lectures. Now you can do this in whatever is preferential to you, but you can see here that I have a plan, hopefully, that will help you to be successful in this course. Again, I've provided the required reading. There's the outline. So what you'll see is that there's a I didn't want to download it. I should have just previewed it. Let's do it this way. There it is. There's the preview of your outline, and so it's got all of the terms that you'll need to know, and so you'll keep, what do I want to say? You'll keep these notes here and fill out it's not a full, right? You can see here that it's partial, so it doesn't have the full definition of what an ultrasonography is or an x-ray, but what you'll do is you use this as a study guide. This is probably the best resource that I'm going to tell you in terms of a study guide. And so that's how each chapter will work. You've got the lecture material right here. I've got the textbook and the outline right there. Make sure you can complete the outline and use it as a study guide for the exam. Again, you've got an anatomical orientation. I told you the big concept here is going to be the anatomical terms associated with knowing your superior, inferior, medial, lateral components, as well as things like your olecranon region or your femoral region. Knowing where the anatomical names for the body parts is going to be really important, particularly I'm starting right now. Let's see what else I got here for you. I think that's what I got. The Quizlet. You've also got some extra material here, some Quizlets, some vocabulary structures to help you with, help you get through there. But we look forward to chapter 1, right? The introduction to the human body. The big concepts here related to that are going to be. Let me put out the learning objectives associated with. Where is it? Here it is. Chapter 1, right? Like, be able to define anatomy and physiology. What is the definition of anatomy? What is the definition of physiology? There's also some subsections associated with anatomy and physiology. So, what are those different subsections? What is the anatomical position, the body planes and sections, body cavities and regions, and then getting into the second part here, defining homeostasis and its importance on the human body, being able to use appropriate anatomical terminology, and then getting a nice grasp or at least a introduction into some medical imaging, right? So again, this is going to be the major concepts. There are another couple ones I want you also to look at when we're talking about being familiar with the different body systems. So knowing the different body systems, a couple of organs, and their. So let's see here. Let's go with. Yeah. Knowing some of the body systems, so the structural organization of the human body, as well as the characteristics of living organisms. So, knowing what are some basic characteristics of living organisms, as well as the necessary needs for survival. These are all recorded there in the lectures, and I encourage you to take a look there, as well as in your reading. Each of the sections here, again, let me just jump on here in terms of the outline, right? So we jump into the outline. And you'll see again, right? Define anatomy and its subsets, define physiology, the different structural organization. So the second part is the structural organization of the human body, the functions of human life, the requirements for human life, and the concept of homeostasis and anatomical terminology, right? Like these are all the sections that you should be familiar with. And the outline is again the best resource that I'd encourage you to take a look at here as we continue through the semester. Each chapter will have an outline, and it'll really be the guide for you to get through the section. Let me just finish off with one last thing here, and it's in regards to the textbook, right? So, the textbook in this course is free. And it's online, but you can also, if you were to purchase a textbook, I would probably recommend a source a textbook that is really like the gold standard, the textbook that I use as a resource for this class, which is the Merriam and Hone Anatomy and Physiology. Right? What did I click on? I shouldn't have clicked on that, huh? But it's this copy right here. And again, you can probably find it as a very, see, there's one right here. It's used, it's a Chegg. I'm going to click on that right there for you. But the Anatomy and Physiology, Merriam and Home, this is the text. You can see here that the newest edition is the 11th edition. But let's see here if I can find you. Let's do this. So here it is, right? So this is the anatomy. It's the Merriam and Home. Anything from like the 7th edition on, right, is going to be the resource that you guys want to take a look at. So let me go to just eBay because that's probably the easiest way to take a look at this. Their Anatomy and Physiology Home. And so you'll see that it is this book right here. Again, the newest version run about $100 used, but you can find this here is the, click on that there, see if I can't zoom in. You can see here the author is, right, the author here is Merriam and Hone Anatomy and Physiology. This one here particularly is the 9th edition. There's one that is the 10th edition here. This is, they tend to have these athletes on the pictures, right? So you can see here that this one here is no, this is a study guide, but Merriam and Home. You want the text. It's really like the gold standard for getting through this course. If you really want to excel, it's really a good background for creating a foundation for other courses like pathophysiology, for clinical anatomy, which deals with the subsets of anatomy related to a particular medical profession. So that's kind of what you want to take a look at. There's also, there he is, Serena Williams, right? You've got Serena Williams on the 7th edition here, and Michael Phelps is on the 8th edition, I want to say. So there's another Anatomy and Physiology copy here. See, so the 10th edition, you can see right here, the 10th edition runs about $12. The 11th edition runs $125. This is what our university partners use, right, for their 101 division. So you can see here that there's a substantial price difference when you buy it used, particularly if it's a later version. I can't find the 8th version here, but you want to find the one with the athletes on there. If you're having trouble, you can always email me and I can recommend that. The other thing that you might want to look at or be interested to look at is what's known as an atlas. So I'll give you pictures and things of the human body, but a human atlas of the human body provides primarily pictures, right? So Netters is really the gold standard, but they provide primarily pictures of the human body. Let's see if I can't find you a example here, right? Okay. If we take a look at Netters here, which is an example of a very classic human atlas, what you're going to find is, let's get in there. There it is. The pictures of the human body, right? Like we're looking at these vivid pictures with descriptions of the structure, and so this is going to be very helpful, right? Now you don't want one necessarily, so yeah, like this one with all the bones and their bony landmarks is something that we'd use here in Anatomy and Physiology 201, but many of these pictures in Netters are much more advanced than we'll get into here. So what I would say is there is an atlas. There's an atlas called the Briefs Atlas. So there's a Briefs Atlas. It's yellow and black version. a brief atlas of the human body, right? It's the yellow and black version, and it's about $4 or $5. It runs anywhere from $4 to $15. And what you're gonna see is that there it is. It's right here. This is the black and uh, yellow version. Let me see if I can't get you a preview here. I'm just seeing if they'll give me a preview, but not really. But what it'll show is no preview, right? Is it gonna give me a preview? No, it won't give me a preview. But what it will just show is just like the structures that are most associated with our class. All right, that's good. That's what I'll talk about here. Again, if you have any if you have any questions or comments, send me an email, and I'll be more than welcome to answer it here or in response. But let's save that enough for today. Again, week 1 underway. Where's my mouse? Can't find it. There it is. Thank you guys. Again, I look forward to your responses here through the assessments and through all your assignments and tests and quizzes. I'm looking to have a great semester. Thank you guys. Take care. Thank you, and I'll see you guys here same time, same channel.